Had a few problems at the beginning here.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. It's hard to tell whether it's ignition or whether maybe we've closed up a plug or something. And, you know, man, you're hard on these things. You over-rev them. I probably might have broke a valve spring or something. So it's just one of those days. I'd like to say hello to Stanley Smith and hope he's feeling a whole lot better. But it's just one of those days right now.
Kyle Fett is sitting here. The crews cannot work on the cars. A number of cars sitting here in the pits, including the Bojangles Ford Thunderbird of Derek Cope. We might mention that Stanley Smith is still in the hospital at Caraway Methodist Medical Center down in Birmingham, Alabama. I spoke to his son, Brett, this morning, and Brett had some very good news to pass along to the many millions of fans around the country who have been asking about the condition of the Chelsea, Alabama driver. Apparently, Stanley was transferred out of the neuro-intensive care unit to a private room on Friday. That's wonderful news. He has been able to stand with some help, moving his right arm and right leg. He apparently will still have some operative procedures to do in the next few days, next few weeks, and they have a recovery time. But Stanley is recovering, and we know that possibly Stanley is watching right now. So for all the drivers and crew members in NASCAR and the millions of fans around the country, Stanley, come back to us in a hurry. Our prayers are with you. Let's go up to the garage area where Dorsey Schrader is standing by with our John Kernan.
Well, Dorsey, looks like you guys have parked the car. One of my reports said just the toe in, but a little more serious than that, obviously.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem like it was that bad a hit, but in fact, it really did tear the car up pretty bad. We got frame damage on there. We pinched off an oil line. You know, center link's bent. We could put it back together and put it on the racetrack, but it wouldn't be a safe race car, and it would be hindering the process. The guys are winning the race, and it's not the right thing to do. It's a shame, really is. We had a good start going and got through turn one clean, got up on top of the hill, had a run down into the inner loop and passed a couple cars, and everything looked according to plan. We turned in there, and about 2 rows up, I saw a bunch of guys getting together under braking, and I guess it turned the Bojangles car sideways, and he got hit by about 2 people. I couldn't go to the left, so I went to the right and took to the grass. And for a minute, I thought I was going to make it, but, you know, Bojangles car got hit by somebody again, pushed right in front of us. And, you know, it's a tough deal. It's a really bad thing. I wanted to be able to talk to the audience from inside that race car today, and they gave us a real good race car. Country Time Ford was a competent car. I think we had a real good race car. Just wasn't our day. We got in somebody else's wreck, and that's unfortunately what can happen in an interloop type of situation. It's safer on the long run, but it tangles everybody up sometimes, and if you got nowhere to go, you got nowhere to go. So,
you know, we were looking forward to hearing from you today in the race car, and you're supposed to be working the Trans Am race with us up at Des Moines. We got flooded out there. Maybe I can talk him into letting you go up to the booth with Bob Jenkins, because I know he's got at least one empty seat up there.
Well, you know he needs the help, too, so
thanks,
if he's got room for me, I'll be right up.
All right, back to you, Bob.
Well, the cars have begun moving again as the red period has ended, and we're just a few minutes away from a resumption of this Bud at the Glen NASCAR Winston Cup race after an accident involving Rick Mast. The pace car once again on the racetrack, but the lights on top of it are out as we bring you a Fram Field summary, how they're running right now. We are just moments away from a green flag and a resumption of this race again. We went red for just a few minutes so that the track crew could come out and put back the tires and make any repairs that were necessary at the guardrail in turn 6, where Rick Mast crashed a few minutes ago. Rick out of the car, walked away from it, and into the ambulance.
This is the one thing that Mark Martin didn't want to see with the caution flag, because he had a lead. And in talking to some of the crews down in the garage area this morning, Bob, they felt like they could race with Mark Martin if they could keep him from using all the racetrack. If they were there, he had to protect his line to keep him getting past. They felt like they could race with him. But if he had a clean racetrack in front of him, could come off the corners wide, go in the corners wide, he was going to be unbeatable. So Mark Martin definitely did not want to see this caution.
Well, you know, he told Jerry Punch in an interview that was on SportsCenter before the race came on the air that he wasn't happy with the car in the last practice session yesterday afternoon. Said they didn't do anything to the car, but it wasn't nearly what he had for qualifying. But apparently is working for him now. As the green flag comes out, Rusty Wallace tries to make a move. Again, they're 3 wide as they head for you, Benny.
They're all trying to get position. Lake Speed's on the inside, Schrader's on the inside. Earnhardt goes by him on the outside, makes the pass. Other cars coming through. So far, so good. Now they fall back in line.
Good move by Dale Earnhardt, passing up on the outside. But Mark Martin, you can see he has already pulled away as they come through the S's and hit that 4th gear and get up to 165 or so miles an hour before they start braking into the interloop. There's Rusty Wallace looking at Ken Schrader, but couldn't quite make a pass. You see Ernie Irvin down on the inside. He's trying to make a pass coming in there. He falls back in line, though. Mark Martin with about a 7 or 8 car length lead as they head off of turn 5.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing Mark Martin just looking to pass.
Evidently he made the pass because he hasn't been turned sideways yet. So, yeah, we see him. He's already made the pass. And
So is Joe Nemechek.
yeah, Joe Nemechek making his second Winston Cup start. That is his own car. Sponsored by Cintas, uniform people.
And here is another road racing expert, Tom Kendall, in the Family Channel Ford.
Tom didn't qualify nearly as well as he had hoped to. He had a little problem over one of the turns or whatnot, but he felt pretty comfortable going into the race.
Again, one of those drivers who is called upon for road racing because of his experience in IMSA and SCCA competition on this racetrack. There's a foot cam. You can see he's got it buried.
Nice. He's just hitting the brake with his left foot. You know, he's got a manual transmission, but as you notice, he's not using the clutch to shift the thing. He's using the Jericho transmission and not shifting. Playing with the throttle. There he's going through right in front of you, man.
Yep, right through turn 5.
He's in 21st position. Here is Jeff Bodine, who is running 10th.
Coming up on Bill Elliott. Elliott has dropped back to a couple of positions.
Jeff Bodine, of course, has bought the assets of Alan Kulwicki Racing, the number 7 car. And will own it, owns it right now, actually. The deal was closed recently. Down the main straightaway, looking for turn number 1. This is the suspension cam.
Well, the shock absorber gets a lot of work out. And the tires as well.
We can see him turning the car. It's unbelievable how the thing, when it's almost going straight, how much travel the shock has.
And, of course, the brakes were blowing as he was braking coming into the interlude. That's probably the place where they brake the most on this racetrack because that's the highest part speed on the track. And then, of course, they get into the slowest part of the racetrack there. So the brakes really take a challenge coming into that turn.
2 red Fords moving together on the racetrack. Bill Elliott, followed by Jeff Bodine, the leader, Mark Martin.
And we can see that Mark Martin and Lake Speed is pulled away from Dale Earnhardt by, what is that, 15, 20 car lengths, Bob?
Yeah, at least that much.
Here they come, directed towards me. There's Earnhardt. Rusty Wallace. Kenny Schrader, and we see Ernie Irvin trying to look on the inside of Schrader. Schrader doesn't know he's there, and wisely Ernie hit the brakes backed off. Now he's going to try it again as they exit turn 1, and he has position, takes the spot away. Now then they're going to have to turn the other way. Schrader will have position. What's going to happen there? Labonte gets by as well, gets by Schrader.
Here's Jeff Gordon really making a move up through there. I watched him yesterday in practice behind Mark Martin, and he really looked strong. That's Jeff Gordon we're talking about, the rookie. Coming into the interloop there right now. Got a lot of cars on his bumper as he comes out through there. Of course, the car immediately on his bumper is that of Bill Elliott.
And Jeff Bodine, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd.
Harry Gant having a good run there in the Skoll car right behind Rudd. Then comes Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson has moved up good, Bob. He started back in 23rd position in the Richard Petty car, and now running about 14th.
That's exactly right, yep. And Dallenbach has recovered somewhat from that earlier spin and moved up right behind him in 15th.
Rick Wilson, is he a road racer?
Well,
evidently he is.
He sure is.
Doing a great job. There.
John Kernan, what can you tell us about him?
Well, I was talking with Robbie Loomis, the crew chief, earlier today, checking up on his birthday. Some information I got said he had just turned 45. Actually, he told me he had just turned 29. He also had a big smile. He said he was very satisfied. They hit on something yesterday afternoon, a combination with the engine, the springs, everything in the car, and Rick really liked the way it felt, and they were looking to run really well today. In fact, Robbie says, hey, a top 10 finish for us would be almost like winning the race.